Hey guys, so welcome to this amazing session. I'm super excited to be here. Really pumped, really excited. This is something that we've been working on, or rather, we're still working on for a while. My name is Ikech Kunwatu from 6 to 3 Ventures, and I'll be taking you on this interesting session. So you might want to just sit back, relax, get a glass of wine, get a cup of tea, a glass of water, and come through the journey with us. Our topic for today is a prep analysis on the metrics and prospects of the Nigerian economy for foreign investors. So I'll take that again. The topic says a prep analysis on the metrics and prospects of the Nigerian economy for foreign investors. So why we took this topic is, or what this topic means is, we are looking at an insider's view into the Nigerian economy, because a lot of people have ideas or they have questions as to what is happening in this part of the world. So we're going to be giving you an insider's view, and this view is based solidly on metrics, data, and the opportunities you can find out or you can see for yourself in the Nigerian economy. Lots of people hear about Nigeria from social media, from TV, news, from their friends. They've probably met in Nigeria or read about Nigeria before. So this is going to give you an insider's view into what is happening in the Nigerian economy. And we're not only particular about foreign investors, it's also going to be useful for people who just want to be curious or who just want to figure out what is happening in this part of the world. So it's something that's really interesting and you might want to hang along. And I'm super excited to be presenting this. So first off, Africa is emerging. Africa is a continent. So a lot of people tell you they want to come to Africa. They travel, I'm going to Africa. Now, as much as that is right, you need to be specific to an extent, because Africa is a continent that has over 54 beautiful countries in it. Nigeria is a part of those countries. Just like Asia, just like North America, where you have the US, South America, you have countries like Brazil and the likes. Europe, where you have France, Germany, and all those countries. In Africa, we have over 54 countries with different cultures and different people and diverse people here and there. So we have countries like Nigeria, Ghana, South Africa, Congo, Cameroon, Egypt, Morocco, Zambia, Kenya. Those are lovely countries in Africa, and Nigeria is one of them. So this article is going to give a proper understanding and insight into the Nigerian economy and its people. So we'll be looking at thriving sectors like tech, the blockchain, the real estate sector, and also the synergy, which is like the blend between all these sectors for people who are interested in these sectors. And we're particular about this sector because we are also interested in this sector. So this would further enlighten on why these sectors are pilots of development and change. And so one thing that's really important to take note of in Nigeria is the abundance of young human capital. We have very young people. We have one of the youngest populations on the planet. And obviously we have a very large population. We are the largest Black population on the planet. We have over 200 million people who are Nigerians or who live in Nigeria. So that's something that you might take into cognizance when you're considering coming to Nigeria, interacting, networking, visiting, or probably starting business over here is something you need to take into notice. So we're talking about the synergy between technology sector, which is really, really booming right now, the blockchain and the fintech sector. We're looking at the real estate sector and how it all works with the human capital we have right now. So we're looking at this synergy, the blend, the mixture, mixing both of each and every one of them together, and how it will work positively. What can you be looking out for? What are the pointers? What are the pivots in this different sector? Who are the major players? What you should know about this. So this is why we're looking. We have this session to give you a proper look at the synergy between all these sectors, and that's really important for us. So Nigeria is a country blessed with natural resources and human capital. We are located in the western part of Africa, and we are arguably the most advanced Black nation, because of our diverse nature and the potential we have, and also the opportunities or prospects we have. So we have major cities like Abuja, which is the capital territory, which is like the seat of power. And then we have Lagos. Lagos used to be a seat of power until it was moved to Abuja. And Lagos is like Africa's business hub. Lagos is like the major place. Everyone knows about Lagos. Everyone hears about Lagos. Lagos is a western city in Nigeria, and it's like our business hub, our commercial hub, e-commerce, our technological hub. It's like Silicon Valley of Africa also, because you have lots of fintechs and unicorns over here. Port Harcourt is an oil-rich city in the southern part of Nigeria. So Nigeria is a country blessed with huge deposits of oil and gas. And over the years, over decades, we've been depending on that as an economy. So Port Harcourt is one of the numerous cities that have this oil deposits. It's an oil-rich city, and you have foreign expatriates trooping in every day. Enugu is a city in the eastern part of Nigeria, and it's majorly known for the cool and relaxed scenery that surrounds that city. It has a lot of civil servants. It has a lot of business opportunities also in that part of the country. So it's a very serene and quiet place if you want to, if you're someone who's into something like that. So Nigeria has a diverse culture and has over 700 tribes and languages, very rich in culture. You have major tribes like the Igbos, the Yorubas, and the Hausas, and you have other amazing tribes, Ishekiri, Ijaw, the Thieves, like lots of tribes. And our diversity, funny enough, for me, makes us a very unique people and a very unique nation. Our diversity is our strength. I'd like to think that. So we have lots of cultures, different tribes, different languages, and different people from everywhere. And so I feel this is one of the factors that we can key into to move forward as a nation. And it's very important we have that as a mindset, or you have that as a mindset if you're visiting this part of the world. It's something that's going to be really interesting. So here we're talking about the young potential. Now, a big part of this country is our human capital. I think I've said that already, but we have a very young population. Like our population, sorry about that. Our population is so young. It's one of the youngest on the planet. So Nigeria needs to harness the potential of its youth population in order to boost economic development and reduce poverty. So we have people, young people who are looking for jobs and opportunities. Standard of life is not so good over here. And so we need to harness this to make lives better for people. Since you have a lot of young people, it's really important that you make life, you plan for the young population. So according to a UN population estimate for 2020, we have roughly 43% of Nigeria's population under the age of 14, which is a big deal. We have 19% of our population within the ages of 15 to 24 years. And then we have 62% of our population under the age of 25. These are really interesting numbers. And these numbers are increasing astronomically. Like our population growth is increasing every single day. We have very high population. We have over 200 million Nigerians per estimate as we speak right now, an estimate of over 200 million Nigerians, sorry, according to the last national census that was conducted. And this is always increasing. Obviously, this is something that's growing and it's blowing, and we need to take that into cognizance. If you're planning on doing business in this part of the world, it's also something you need to take seriously. It's a salient factor, and a lot of people have to look into that when considering visiting Nigeria or doing business in Nigeria or connecting with Nigerians. We have a very young population. We have a median age of roughly 18 years, which is lower than the African and global averages of 20 and 29, respectively. So what this means is that our age, our average, our median age average is literally lower than the African median age average. So this is a big deal, and it tells a lot, to be honest with you. So Nigeria's population was projected to grow. We're still talking about the population, which is a big deal because a nation is made up of its people. An economy moves because of its people. Everything works in the country because of the people involved in the country, and Nigeria has those people in numbers. Nigeria has the numbers. Nigeria's population was projected to grow from more than 186 million people in 2016 to 392 million in 2015. This will take us to becoming the fourth most populous country. Now, this has the positive part and the negative part, but we would like to look more into the positive part because that's where we're looking at. We're looking at the positive, the prospects, the possibilities from this part of the world. So if you're taking that into cognizance, it's important that, or you're considering all this, it's important that you know that population will always rise or it's always increasing and it's young. So whatever you're trying to build, it has to be a product market fit, or it has to do something with the young people. It has to be something that takes that into consideration. You have to factor that in whatever you're looking at, however way you look at the country, however way you are considering doing business in the country. So Lagos in particular has been an active technological and business ecosystem for decades. That what this means is Lagos, which is our commercial hub, has been raising the bar year after year in terms of technological advancement, in terms of businesses, in terms of fintechs. We have over 4 fintechs in Nigeria. We have over 6 fintechs in Africa, and 4 of those fintechs are found in Nigeria, and that says a lot. So technological wise, business wise, e-commerce, Lagos, Nigeria is championing the e-commerce sector, entertainment, whatever sector you're looking at it, Nigeria is a major player globally and on a local stage. So Lagos is where everything comes into play. All the factors come and everyone comes into Lagos. Like the saying goes, if you've never been to Lagos, you've not been to anywhere. It's a major city in the part of the world. And people, dignitaries, professionals, business people, they always want to come to Lagos. So now here we'll be looking at the sectors. This session will be looking at the sectors with increasing growth rates, except the oil and gas sector. So what this means that these are some of the sectors that have been contributing positively or have been experiencing an increase in growth apart from the oil and gas sector. Now we've been an oil and gas dependent state for a long time, Nigeria. So, but moving forward, people always want to ask questions after this, what is coming next? What's next for us? So these are some sectors that are going to or have been doing amazingly well in this part of the world. Obviously, the real estate sector is a big deal over here. The technological sector is a big deal, and it has one of the highest employment rates. It has one of the highest contributions to the GDP as at this moment, as at we speak. The entertainment sector, lots of big things are happening over there. You can hear of Nigerian global music stars like Whiskey and the likes. You can hear of people like musicians, artists, um, actors, lots of popular people, comedians. Everybody is trooping into that sector because that sector provides a lot of opportunities. The consumer goods or the e-commerce sector is something that's really big. One of the biggest companies in this part of the world, in Middle East and Africa, which is Jumia, is a Nigerian founded company. Sorry about that. So this says a lot. There are companies also like Paga and the rest. There are lots of countries like that, companies like that are doing amazing work. Don't know why I keep saying countries, but there are lots of companies like that in this part of the world, and their focus is on the e-commerce sector, and this is a big deal for us. So we'll be looking at these sectors, and we just wanted to have an idea of what sectors are thriving because we're now at the stage where oil prices are dwindling, oil prices are fluctuating. We're not trying to be solely dependent on oil. I know there are other sectors that are very positive, but these are the ones that are really important that you should take note of right now in this part of the world. Now, Lagos, I love Lagos. I'll have to say this. Lagos is a combination of young and bold dreams. Lagos is where everyone comes to if they want to make it in Nigeria to an extent. I'm not no disrespect to any other part of the country, but Lagos is a place of dreams. Your dreams are valid over here, and there are lots of young people that are making a living for themselves and changing the world from a small pocket or small corner of their apartments. And Lagos offers lots of opportunities. It's a mix of chaos and good and bad and traffic and lots of things. So Lagos is like the place where everyone wants to come to, and it's literally where you dream. Your dreams are valid. You dream loud. You dream big. You dream boldly, and this is where you everything happening everything is happening, and everything happens on this part of the world. Now we'll be looking at the technological sector. So um, from 2021, the first quarter of this year, we had, as at when this was produced, we have over 3 million jobs created in the technological sector. This is a big deal because unemployment numbers and the unemployment figures here in Nigeria are really huge. Sorry about that. We have a high unemployment rate. We have a high poverty rate, and so people are looking for opportunities. There are no much jobs. Um, People are being underemployed. People are a large amount of the young people. As much as we have these numbers, a large amount of them do not have jobs. A large amount of them live under below $1 daily, and this is really interesting and really serious for us. So this is something that's so important to us. So if you're considering anything, if you're looking at this, we have to give or shed light on this because it's really a sad thing, to be honest. But luckily for us, the Nigerian technological sector is something that's contributing positively now. It's somewhere that it's a sector that's booming, and we have over 3 million jobs being created every year. And now we have 25,000 new talents coming to this sector every year. So I'll take that again. We have over 3 million jobs created so far, and we have 25,000 plus new talents each year. Now we have over $9 billion contribution to the Nigerian GDP in the first quarter of 2021. Every day you wake up to news on the internet, on Twitter, we're big on Twitter over here, on Facebook and the likes, and you see a company has raised funding, seed A funding, pre-seed funding, or something is happening, or there is a takeover, or someone has partnered. There are partnerships being formed. Companies are being new startups are popping up here, and then Lagos is literally the hottest spot for startups right now. And if you look at the numbers correctly, you can see that we have the technological sector is a major contributor. We have lots of talents now. We have lots of people who are interested in that sector, from data scientists to artificial intelligence to tech, like to design, to software development, to non-tech related jobs like copywriting and the likes, male and female. There is a need to get into that sector because it seems like everything is going right, or rather everything is really going okay and perfectly well in that sector of the economy. And this explains a lot because you don't find so much like that. But amidst the whole chaos and the whole problems and everything that's going left and right, or everything that looks like it's going south, the technological sector in Nigeria right now is booming, and it has been so for over 5 years. So um the technology sector has risen to the top of the list of industries that employ university graduates. A lot of tech people and companies have come up. A lot of tech, we have tech hubs in Yaba, everywhere around Lagos, around Nigeria. So Nigerian IT talents are being employed by multinational companies here and there. There are lots of companies now. Google, we have people who work in Google who are Nigerians, people who work in Amazon, um, CEOs from big companies come over to Africa, and the first place they want to come to is Nigeria. They want to come to Lagos, Nigeria, precisely. CEOs, Jack Dorsey, Bill Gates, Jeff Bezos, Richard Branson, lots of them, they're always interested in what's happening. And we have lots of tech talents who are doing amazing stuff over here, who are also working remotely, working from home, working with big companies, working with diverse people from different parts of the planet, changing the globe. And this is those big major things that happen in this sector, and you don't want to sleep on that. So Nigeria's largest mobile payments firm like I mentioned before, PayPal did a funding recently, and you can see that things are skyrocketing exceptionally. So Nigeria, Africa's most populous country, boasts the most technological centers on the planet, on the continent, sorry, with a total of 19. According to a source of ours, Nigerian entrepreneurs raised over 400 million in 2019, more than double the amount they raised the previous year. So this year, if you want to know anything that's thriving, there's a culture in this part of the country, in this part of the world, sorry, in our country that goes like this. Whenever something is thriving, everyone trips in. And that this I'm sure this happens in different places. But whenever something seems to be working right, since we're a very positive people, we always look into that sector. There's always a massive troop of people. Um if you say blockchain, which is now the in thing, blockchain and Web3, is booming. NFTs, people are interested in NFTs. There's a whole lot of conversations going around about NFTs, the Web3, the blockchain, Bitcoin. Everyone is literally looking at that direction now. Everyone wants to know what's happening, what's the fad, what's the in thing, what's the trend, how can we make money from it? And that's the resilient spirit that Nigerians have. So we have lots of entrepreneurs. I mean, it's hard being an entrepreneur in Nigeria, but they make it work, which is a big kudos to them. They make it work, and they raised over 400 million in 2019. They've raised way more than that this year. They keep raising the standards and doubling the numbers, and that says a lot. So talking about blockchain and Bitcoin in particular, so we have some pointers here for you to note. Nigeria surpassed major European countries. We are competing on a major level. So cryptocurrency has been adopted by a lot of Africans and Nigerians. Nigerians are pioneering cryptocurrency, to be honest. We have companies like Binance, companies like Bitcoins, companies like Bundle Africa, who are doing amazing stuff here. We have companies like Quidax, companies like Patricia. They're all for the crypto right now. They're all pushing boundaries in cryptocurrency. And according to a recent Google analysis, Nigeria ranked number one among the countries in terms of Bitcoin searches. So everyone, that's what I'm saying. Everyone literally is very curious. We are very curious people. What's happening? What's happening with this? What's happening there? We're always trying to figure out on Twitter, on social media platforms, on the news. Oh, this is happening. And this is coming off as a result of the fact that we have a lot of young people who are trying to make a living for themselves legitimately. So this data illustrates that if the government can discover better ways to harness the blockchain and cryptocurrencies, they can have a massive effect in Nigeria. So the government has not been helping entirely, to be honest with you. But if you um, look at it properly, they need a change of mind, to be honest, because you can literally not change anything about cryptocurrency. Cryptocurrency is here to stay. Cryptocurrency is the future. And we are major players in cryptocurrency. We are contributing majorly to cryptocurrency. And leading companies like Binance, FTX, Paxful, Crypto.com are literally making headquarters, hiring talents, building products for the Nigerian market because they see the potential that it carries. So it's literally one of the fastest growing crypto markets in the world. And that's why we are laying emphasis on this part. Bitcoin is a big deal over here. Crypto is a big deal over here. I mean, there's a lot to be done. There's a lot of more work to be done because a lot of people are still unbanked. As a matter of fact, a lot of the population still need information. They need solid information on what cryptocurrency is. A lot of people don't have the purchasing power also. That's a factor that has to be stated clearly. They don't have purchasing power because they don't have jobs and all that. But regardless of all these hurdles, all these factors mitigating some sectors, cryptocurrency is booming and it can't be stopped. There was a recent ban on some crypto companies and all that for people who are interested, who are trading crypto, but it still hasn't changed anything. People are still finding other ways and mediums of going about their crypto businesses. So that's a big deal for us. That's a major plus for us. So despite factors like internet availability and access constraints, Nigerian defiant our entrepreneurs have a way, they've found a way to get talent. They found a way to build solid companies. They found a way because in Nigeria, you literally do not have a room to fail. To be honest, it's not as the ecosystem is not as lenient as other parts of the world. No disrespect to anyone, but that's a fact because a lot of people over here, you have to win. You're playing to win. You're not playing to lose at all. You have to win. So talent, you literally have to grasp at every last strand of hair or every last strand of anything you can do. You have to do that to make sure your company does well, does right. The investments being put into whatever product, whatever company, whatever skill you're trying to learn or you're trying to hire has to be fruitful, has to be positive in the end. So it's almost like we're fighting against a lot of things, but we have to make do with what we have. Um, issues like basic issues like data, power supply are still major problems for lots of people over here. But not regardless, people are still doing amazing stuff, amazing stuff. The technological sector has risen to the top of the list of industries that employ university graduates. A lot of tech companies have problems finding the right talent. Now that's another issue. They have problems finding the right talent because people do not have the required skill sets or they are not skilled enough. They are lacking some certain things. Some people, it's not only being the unemployment capital of the world, literally, it's also an issue of underemployment or people who are not skilled enough. They are literally finding themselves in jobs. People who are skilled enough don't have the good jobs. People who are not skilled enough can't get good jobs. So it's a mix of a lot of problems, constraints, chaos as regards talents and people who want to get better lives for themselves. And technological companies are affected by this. There are a few companies that are doing amazing stuff to rectify this. Shout out to companies like Talent QL, they're doing amazing stuff. Andela has done amazing. She Code Academy. There are lots of people who are trying to rectify or solve this problem for us, and they're doing an amazing job so far. So the rate at which the tech wave has swept across Nigeria is one for the books. And if you look at it, every new day there are instances of new companies, new talents, stakeholders, products to facilitate healthcare, fintech, prop tech. So healthcare and fintech is literally the major part that's contributing to that sector, to the technological sector, because a majority of all the companies you can see that are making waves. Paystack recently did something amazing. Flutterwave has been doing an amazing job. Mono recently raised 15 million, so $15 million as for funding. So a lot of these people who are doing amazing stuff technological wise, all of these companies, most of them are fintech companies, the fintech, and there is still room for more because there are lots of people who are unbanked, who have not, who don't even know how to work on a bank app. They don't have bank accounts, not to talk of bank apps. So we have a large work to do. There's still large opportunities in the fintech sector, but still there are opportunities in prop tech, education technology, which is a big deal, health tech, which is also a big deal. Everything tech is literally at the core of changing a lot, and that's something that's really important to us. Um, so here is just as a quote from this is a popular tech blog in Nigeria, the Benjamin Dada Tech blog. So Abdul Hassan Paystack, this is just elaborating on what we're talking about. Nigeria is more like a mix of the Silicon Valley and New York in one place, because when you come down here, um, you see that Lagos has companies here and there. Things are happening everywhere at a fast rate. People are building world-class companies to do amazing stuff. So this was just something we took note of, and we wanted you to have an idea of. Mono is a company that recently raised funding. Um, it's like one of my favorite companies, to be honest with you, because they have a very solid structure, and they recently raised $50 million. I think the funding was pioneered by Tiger Global. So they're doing amazing stuff. So this is just to tell a lot about what is happening over here, and it's really important that you pay attention to this. Now, Flutterwave's recent groundbreaking breaking achievement must have reached you. If it hasn't reached you, it's understandable. Um, the company's valuation has surpassed 1 billion, which is making it one of the five or over six unicorns here in Africa. It was done after a $170 million Series C investment round headed by Avenir and Saint Tiger Global. So these are VCs and investors who see the prospects in the Nigerian tech ecosystem, and they steadily every day basically raise the bar. They always raise the bar. They're always looking for new opportunities because they see Nigerian entrepreneurs who are preferring world-class solutions, even with local talent, even with little money, meager means, they still find a way to bring up solutions, payment solutions. So Flutterwave is an amazing payment platform, and they recently raised funding, and it made a big deal because it was all over the news. They were they recently got into business with Paystack, and it's been it's been amazing. It's been really amazing. They've been doing things from from the get go, and now under 10 years, they're still doing amazing stuff. So as a result of this accomplishment, Africa has now over four, I'll correct that, over four unicorn firms, each worth more than $1 billion. Companies like Fowry, InterSwitch, Jumia, Flutterwave, um, lots of companies, over four unicorns and counting, because there's still opportunity for that. The remarkable thing about these businesses is that three of them originated in sub-Saharan Africa. Three of them are actually Nigerian companies. They are actually headquartered here in Nigeria. So this is a big deal. One of Nigeria's largest mobile payments firm is aiming to be Africa's next unicorn. So here we're talking about Paga. Paga is like a big deal. Um, they should literally be raising, or they should literally be getting to the next stage of their milestones. But they've been doing amazing work so far. They're not also the only ones. There are companies every day. You have companies popping up, doing amazing stuff. One of my favorite companies also, or companies you need to look out for, is Piggyverse. Piggyverse is a big deal. Bycoins is a big deal. They have good structure. They're building amazing products. Get Equity. These are companies that are doing fabulous stuff, and they constantly question what can be done. How can we do it better? And this says a lot. This says a lot, to be honest. Africans are building decentralized web. So there's a huge conversation going on. I mentioned this earlier about the decentralized web, the Web3, metaverses, obviously cryptocurrency or fintech, or DeFi systems, decentralized finance, um, DAOs, decentralized autonomous organizations, decentralized organizations, Web3, NFTs. There are lots of conversations going about tokenization. There are lots of conversations going about that right now. And Africans are championing this because majority of, at the core of a lot of the work going on, I mean, we still have a lot of catching up to do in terms of these sectors, but we are also building our own parts. We are also contributing our own quota to the web, to decentralized web, because that's the future. That is literally where technology is heading towards. And I mentioned a company called Get Equity. Get Equity is doing decentralized investment, which is a big deal, and they've been doing an amazing job. So decentralization is here to stay, and the decentralized web is also being built by Africans. We have Web3 academies coming up here and there. We have companies like Clipit who are doing good jobs in training people in NFTs, understanding what NFTs are. NFTs became a huge thing from last year, 2020, up until now. And now Africans are interested in it. We have the culture of always trying to surpass what we've done before, always doing our best, because we literally don't have we that's literally all we've got to do. That's all we tell ourselves, what have we got to lose? And Nigerians are not exempted from this. We're always contributing. We're contributing to the decentralized web as we speak. There are projects coming up here and there. There are people who are artists, musicians, professionals, designers, developers, blockchain engineers, software engineers. They're contributing their own quota, bringing up platforms, bringing up um, lots of products that can help in getting the decentralized web built better. And we're grateful for that. It's super, super exciting. Decentralized systems are here. Things are moving at an amazing rate. Um, Daily, you can hear of um, companies coming out with their own platforms, companies telling posting sessions and explaining things. And we're not left out of this. At 63 Ventures, we're also building things that are amazing for you. We just have to keep your fingers crossed about that. We're also big on decentralized systems and webs, because this is the future. This is the stage we are right now. DAOs are here to stay. NFTs, metaverses, understanding them properly, investing in them properly, um, building it right. We're also a major, major, major part of that. We're doing amazing stuff, and very soon you get to see what we have in store for you. So here are some of the key crypto stakeholders in Nigeria. Binance, obviously a big deal, one of the major ones, Paxful, Binance, Bundle Africa. Bundle Africa is an amazing company that's doing amazing work in the crypto space. Bitcoins, super, super excited about what they're doing. They have a way of making things easier for people who are interested in crypto trading, transfers, investing. They have an amazing platform for that. They build products around crypto. Patricia has always been raising the bar high, and daily you hear of people who are coming out, products who are coming out. There's now a bold statement because we have a young population, so everyone is inquisitive. So people are now taking their chances, building products right for not only the local space, but also the diaspora. So these are a few of the companies that are doing well. Glover is also one amazing company. Credox, there are lots and lots of companies like that. So these are one of the key crypto companies in Nigeria. So now we'll transition into the real estate sector. So the real estate sector is a sector that has been here for decades and ages. Um, it's been one of the major places you need to look at when you're looking at investments. And for a black man, when you tell him investment, the first thing that comes to his mind a majority of the time is land. And that is totally right. But for a proper understanding of what it is like in this part of the world, we are going to give you a detailed brief on what the real estate sector looks like in Nigeria and Africa. So this that we have, first of all, we have to say that there's a huge housing deficit and shortage. We have over 17 million housing deficit and property gaps in Nigeria. Lagos has a huge housing crisis, to be honest. Um, people don't have homes. Some of the homes are not affordable. There's a huge amount of population. if you look at the amount of people, the population influx into Lagos, and you check, if you compare that with what is in store as regards of housing, as regards to housing, sorry, you can see that there is a lot that needs to be done. The real estate sector has a 6% return on investment per annum, an average of 6% return on investment per annum. Um, we have the real estate sector is like the third highest contributor to the GDP. And increment of rent happens almost at a 30% yearly. So rent, we have issues with inflation in our economy. And so this affects also the real estate sector because the construction industry is also affected. Majority of the manufacturing and production industry in Africa, in Nigeria and Africa as a whole, has been on the low. um, we don't have a functioning steel industry. The Ajaokuta steel industry has been defunct for a while. Um, we literally import a lot of things. So this affects the cost of housing, this affects the cost of construction products, and this in turn, or in the end, affects the prices of rent. So rent always goes up, and a lot of people do not keep up in terms of rent. And this is really, really something that's really concerning to us. So, so this is a huge deal to us. It's really important that we look at this. So there are 7 statutorily recognized construction industrial professionals in Nigeria. So what this means is there are 7 professionals in the construction industry that are recognized by law. And we have the architects, um, which is governed by the Nigerian Institution of Architects. We have the builders, we have the engineers, we have estate surveyors, the real estate surveyors, which is governed by the Nigerian Institute of Estate Surveyors and Valuers. We have quantity surveyors, we have the land surveyors, and then we have the town planners. Now, these are the 7 recognized industry professionals by the law, and this all of them have to all of them have a huge all construction professionals have a huge part to play in the real estate sector. And it's a sad thing to see that we're not at the stage where we need to be. I mean, there are lots of inventions and innovations in the prop tech sector. Prop tech is a big deal right now. People need to have homes, and they need to have affordable homes. They need to have comfortable homes. They need to have um, homes that are at their beck and call. They need to have housing. The housing needs of Nigerians are a lot, and it's been growing. It's becoming more diverse, and this has affected a lot of people negatively. So we need to find products that are right for these people, and the construction industry professionals have a lot to play. Now, the cost of goods, the cost of products, the cost of cement, the cost of timber, the cost of a lot of things in this country are really high. And there are bodies that make sure or are put in place that can do better and make sure these things are affordable, or these things can be done better, or the real estate sector can be grown in a better way. And these are few of them. So now we take this into cognizance. Pricing appears to be a great issue in Africa's housing crisis, especially as most rent is paid in one lump sum. So what this means is the rent issues in Africa is a major problem. Housing crisis is literally tied to pricing and affordability of those homes. And this is because we pay rent in a lump sum. I know there are laws in place that states that, for instance, in Lagos, the Lagos rent charge, it says that you can pay rent by annually. You can pay rent in twice a year. You can pay rent in 6 months. But a lot of landlords do not agree to this. A lot of property owners do not agree to this. A lot of people in the real estate sector are not adhering to this rule. So this has indicated that paying a year's rent in advance without savings will be tough for a lot of people since we don't have a proper credit system. So we don't have a proper credit system. We don't have a solid mortgage plan, and this has affected a lot of people who want to get homes. So people barely know what the Federal Mortgage Bank of Nigeria is, which is the major mortgage bank here, and people don't have access to these mortgage facilities. So although the habit of paying rent in advance isn't totally progressed in Lagos in 2021, monthly rent payments are not entirely permitted. Agents and house owners may even want 2 years worth of rent in advance. Some of the times they ask you for a 2 year rent, and there is a lot of quackery, or there are lots of quacks in the real estate sector because everyone tells you they have homes, everyone tells you they are real estate agents, and they're not professionally trained. There is no there the organizations who are in charge look away from a lot of things. They don't really try to pin down the right people who are registered and authorized to do this business. So um agents, there are lots of agents flooding here and there with lots of houses. It's a good thing, but it also has this negative part because they swindle people out of their hard-earned currencies. And because they are very dependent on the worth of a property is really really important to landlords and owners of homes. They don't take into cognizance the value of the property. They just literally put up any price because they feel okay, this is what is obtainable in this part of the region. This is what is obtainable on this part of the city. So they literally put that as an amount, even if those facilities and utilities in place are not there. And this is a major problem. So here's a question for you. Are digital platforms any different? Now there are lots of platforms who have come up, um, who list property listing platforms, um, lots of platforms that come up every day to tell you to make life easier for clients and people who need homes in Nigeria. So because an average salary earner would find it difficult to afford their listed properties, it's quite likely that some social class profiling is involved in the process. So what this means is a lot of people encounter something. Now, first off, there are not much homes in Lagos and different parts of Nigeria. Now, secondly, these homes are not so affordable. And now, lastly, before you get these homes, it's a very strenuous process. The process is really, really wide, like it's really vague and ambiguous. And sometimes people end up losing hope about getting a home, or they would rather settle for less. So a majority of the people who can afford these homes, most of the times are not the average earners or the average salary earners here in Nigeria. Majority of the people who can afford this loan, they have to seek for grants, they have to seek for help from a lot of people to pay for rent. And this is not talking about, this is different from the class of people who own homes or who can buy properties, because properties are really, really expensive for a lot of people here in Nigeria. And that's something that has to be tackled head on. So speaking about the federal mortgage, we have a mortgage plan in Nigeria here, and people are not aware of this. And companies or institutions who are involved in this need to do better. The Federal Mortgage Bank is the apex body as regards this, the Federal Mortgage Bank of Nigeria. So here are some of their, they have a lot of challenges. There is lack of valid data for mortgage disbursement. 82% of Nigerians are without any mortgage, and this is for a fact. There are over 78 abandoned projects, mortgage projects by the Federal Mortgage Bank, and this tells a lot. if the government is not providing housing, who is providing housing? The private sector dictates whatever prices they want to put as rents, and this affects a lot of people down the line. So the constraints of real estate entrepreneurship, people who are involved in real estate entrepreneurship, they don't have funding. There's power supply and technological issues also. Sorry about that. There is an issue of human capital and talents, people who are properly trained as real estate surveyors, people who are properly trained, people who can perform on the job, who can deliver jobs, who can work properly. The right talents is also an issue in the real estate sector. So real estate entrepreneurs, property developers, they do not adhere to some certain requirements, land requirements, land laws, zoning ordinances, some real estate rules, obligations, the right thing to do. They don't have a way. They've not. Majority of them do not adhere to this strictly, and this is a problem. This is a serious problem for a lot of people, and the houses are popping up here and there every single day. And as a result of this, you do not know which was approved properly. There are agencies who are in place or who were put in place to make sure that people adhere to these laws and these rules, but they don't do that. And this is a serious issue for people who are looking for homes also, because there are abandoned products, there are cases of there are abandoned buildings, sorry, there are cases of building collapse, and this has affected a lot of people. Some of the key solutions to the real estate sector are we need to build platforms that enable market participants to make informed real estate investment decisions based on data and statistics. So what this means is we need to start building real estate products that are based on data and statistics, products that can make people or give people solid information on the type of investments to make. And these products have to be fashioned out in a way or structured in a way that they appeal to different niches in the population. They appeal to different classes of people in the population. We have few companies that are doing that, but it's still a long shot because there's still a lot that needs to be done. Um, Also, another solution is building and construction um, building and construction companies that will help in the application of technology to improve the way we plan, design, and construct structures. Flexible living flexible companies like Airbnb, flexible renting, Airbnbs, home sharing, rent splitting, apartment sharing. There are few companies that are doing that right now, but we need more of this. We need people who can do this, who can prefer or bring up products that can do this for people in the most convenient way. Also, their clients, people are always intrigued as to what is happening in the real estate sector, and they need this information at their beck and call. So we need people who are companies, there are opportunities for companies who are invested or who are projecting towards listing of properties properly. A few people know what Zillow is. Zillow, which is one of the most popular um, real estate sites, property listing sites in the world, property sites in the world. Few people, barely over 20% of Nigeria's population know about such platforms. There are a few in Nigeria that are doing amazing work, but people are not intrigued or interested in taking advantage of that. Some of their products are so vague and the users don't understand it. And these are things that need to be done. Lower and middle class housing is at a peak, it's peaking, it's at a high. Um, and there are lots of property tech companies springing up here and there. And this is a lot for a lot of people. So we'll be looking at some of the facilities that the Federal Mortgage Bank in in collaboration with the National Housing Fund There's some of the mortgage plans they prefer to people, and one of them is an NHF mortgage loan, which is the National Housing Mortgage Loan. Mortgage is a big deal for a lot of people. It would ease the stress of getting homes and houses properly for a lot of people, but we need to structure it right. And here are some of the things that are, are available for people. If you're looking to get a house, or if you're looking to look for a mortgage. There are companies, private, a majority of the key players in the real estate sector. Yes, they are private developers, private mortgage firms, privately owned companies that are doing amazing job. Majority of the sectors in Nigeria are working because of public-private partnership. So the private sector is really doing an amazing job. They're coming in, they're bringing in products, they're investing because the government seems to be lackadaisical about a lot of things. In a country where we have a lot of people with huge potential, a country that has lots of potential, the government is really not doing much. They need to do better. So we have lots of private companies, private interests in different sectors. And so it can help if you are interested in getting if you if you are interested in getting a mortgage loan. These are some of the loans you can look out for from the National Housing Fund, which is publicly or government owned. The NHF mortgage loan is one of them. This facility is granted at 4% interest rate. So it's one of the loans that's granted to people by private primary mortgage banks. And a contributor can have access to this mortgage plan or this mortgage loan, and it can get up to the tune of 15 million naira from the fund, and it will be accredited. You have to go through some processes, but in the end, you would literally get what you're looking for. But the backside to all this is some of these mortgage loans are only accessible by some people. There's a preferential treatment, which is a bad thing because corruption thrives in a lot of the sectors in this part of the world. So sometimes people find it really hard to get access to these loans, and that's a big issue for a lot of people because this will make lives easier for so many people. The next one is the Estate Development Levy. The Estate Development Levy, or the EDL, is granted to private developers, state housing corporations, and housing cooperatives for building of projects, fleshing out their own ideas, fleshing out their own um, estates, building their own platforms, like doing their own work. So this levy is being disbursed also by the Federal Mortgage Bank of Nigeria for, for people who have intentions of bridging the housing deficit through mass production of houses for ownership by NHF contributors, people who are contributing to the National Housing Fund. And the facility is granted at 10% interest rate. So this is one of the amazing stuff that is available. Now, another plan is a rent to own scheme. The scheme is designed to make Nigerian workers move into federal mortgage homes as tenants, and they can pay for the properties and then own it after expiring their payment plan, after fulfilling their payment plan. Sorry. So the payment plan gets up to over 30 years for some people. It depends on how fast you can pay up. The Federal Mortgage Bank Rent to Own Scheme is an innovative, affordable housing product, and it provides an easy transition into your home for people who are contributors also to the NHF and people who are generally Nigerian workers. So this is one thing that people take advantage of also. Construction loan. This is a loan that is afforded to a lot of Nigerians. It helps them get the opportunity to access mortgage loans for constructing their own homes, and it has a good payment plan also. Um, but it's also for people who are registered under the National Housing Fund. And the thing about the thing about this is one of the negative impacts about this, or one of the negative sides of this is a lot of people are unaware of this loans. A lot of people are unaware of these facilities, and those who are aware about it or who know of this, they can't access this because there is this. preferential treatment that goes on. There are things that people get bribed to put names ahead on lists, and this is affecting those who really need the services the most. This is affecting those who really need these facilities the most, because the majority of the housing schemes that are available in Nigeria are not accessible to a lot of people. A lot of people who need this cannot access it, and this is a major problem with some of this. And it's a wake up call for the Federal Mortgage Bank, the National Housing Fund to do better and bring up better strategies to get more people involved in these services they offer. The home renovation loan is for Nigerians who have an opportunity to access mortgage loans for renovating or improvement of their existing homes. Um, and it's something that some people take advantage of. It has been on for a long time, and they bring out phases or cohorts every session of the year or every quarter of the year, and it's something people take advantage of. So here are some of the key real estate stakeholders in Nigeria, and I'm going to be talking about four of them, and this is between the private and the public sector. So one of one of the very important people who are doing amazing, one of the very important companies doing amazing job in the real estate sector is Sujimoto Developers. Now, it's a company run by a very innovative and young um, team. It's headed by Suji, one of Nigeria's foremost real estate gurus, and they have luxury properties. They actually they actually can be referred to as the Gen Z of the real estate sector, because they literally are doing things that are out of that mind blowing. They're building one of the tallest buildings in the Lagos Island as we speak. They have some of their amazing projects and the Lucrezia projects. They have plans for people who want to get into the real estate sector, affordable plans for people also. And they have the mindset of catering for a certain category of customers or clients. And they will tell you, the company would literally tell you that they don't their products are for specific people who are seeking class and luxury. And that's something about Sujimoto Developers, and they're forging their new path, their own path in an amazing way. It's an interesting company to look out for. One of the major key stakeholders also. Also the other one is the Split company. Split is one of the few prop tech companies that you should take note of, or we've taken note of over the years. They have it's a company that is based off split renting. So it's a company, one of the prop tech companies that offers um, home sharing services, Airbnb services, renting of homes for short times, short let apartments, and their focal point is splitting of rent. Now we don't have majority of our companies, or majority of the companies over here are just estate agents or property developers, where we don't have people who are using technology to change what is happening in the real estate sector. And Split does that. They have a platform that helps people get properties at the palm of their finger, at the palm of their hands, at the snap of a finger. You get access to lots of properties, and these properties you don't have to go the conventional way of paying a year's rent or 2 years rent or 3 years rent. They offer split renting. You can pay for a month, you can pay for 2 months, and this is something that has to be taken into cognizance. It's a serious matter, because there are lots of people who come into Nigeria, who travel into Nigeria, foreign investors who want to just stay for a certain period, or people who come to Lagos or come to different parts of the country. Maybe you relocate for job. There's some people who relocate for jobs to different parts of the country, and they don't want to pay for a full month's rent, and they would love to have their own personal space rather than having to go to a hotel or something. And if they can't pay for short let apartments, they look for other apartments where they can split the rent. And also this helps a lot. This company caters for those user needs, and that's a big deal. We also have other companies that cater for needs of people who want to split rents with other people who want to get into student housing, people who are looking at those prospects in low and affordable housing needs. And these companies also have their own products that are doing amazing stuff for them also. One of the major companies like that also is, which we didn't mention here also, is is one of the companies that has done a very good funding stage at this stage. They're doing an amazing job, to be very honest with you. Now the next one is the NAIVS professional body. NAIVS is the Nigerian Institution of Estate Surveyors and Valuers. They are literally the apex body that is in charge of the registration and training of real estate professionals. And they do that in collaboration with universities or higher institutions and professional bodies. So they work in collaboration with Estate Surveyors Registration Board of Nigeria, SBABON, and they're an amazing body also. They make sure people adhere to rules, and there's a regulation in the real estate sector. They're in charge of that, registration of developers, agents, and the likes, real estate professionals. So it's one of the bodies that has been contributing to the real estate sector, is a key real estate stakeholder. The next one is the Estate Intel. Estate Intel is the number one go-to place in terms of information as regards the real estate sector in Nigeria. There you can find people or companies who are doing company listings, property listings, agent listings, and the likes, journals, blogs, write-ups, and documentations, um, coverages from events, and major things that are happening in the real estate sector are on their online platforms and the different media houses. So Estate Intel is one of the amazing platforms. Yeah, so the real estate sector is something that is really interesting, and it's been growing over the time. Um, Value of properties, value of land is always increasing. Land is an asset that everyone wants to own, and then there are companies that are making life easier for people who want to own these assets, and there is still a lot of investment opportunities in the real estate sector in Nigeria. So we're going to the next slide. Um, so here we're talking about a digital economy. A digital economy, in a nutshell, is an economy that has a digital government, digital private sector, digital skills. So Nigeria has to be at some stage we can call it a digital economy, where we are gradually getting there. We can literally call ourselves a digital economy to an extent, but there are lots of things that need to be changed, and we're giving an insight into why Nigeria needs to be a digital economy, and we need a private sector participation, which is heavy, which is big in this side of the world. Private sector participation is a major issue, is a major factor that has to be considered. Digital finance, a lot of people need these services, and we need to build rights services for them. Their companies are doing amazing job. There are opportunities in the digital finance sector also. Smart cities are the thing. Smart cities are the future, and Lagos is becoming one of Africa's foremost smart city, and we can adopt this in different parts of the economy or the country. Digital transport. So all this are just literally pointing to the fact that these are some of the things that need to be in place for the economy to grow more as a digital economy. I don't think we are where we need to be yet, but we are gradually getting there, and there is room for improvement. There is room for for growth. There is room for expansion, and this is one of the areas we should be looking towards. These are some of the areas we should be looking towards. So that tells a lot, to be honest. Um, that tells a whole lot, to be honest. Um, so now we'll be looking at some of the sectors in some of the parts of the Nigerian sector, some of the major stakeholders in the Nigerian sector, um, that we should be looking at this point in time. So first off, we have the Bank of Industry. Now, it's important for us to take note of different institutions that are in charge of whatever sector of an economy. Um, this helps in making informed decisions. So some of these sectors will be highlighting on them for people who want to make investments or people who want to know more about regulators or stakeholders in the Nigerian economy. So this is one of them. The Bank of Industry, the BOI, is a major player in the Nigerian economy. So the Bank of Industry is concerned with providing financial assistance for establishments of the large, medium, and small projects, as well as expansion, diversification, and modernization of existing enterprises. So what this means is the Bank of Industry is the one of the major bodies or the apex bodies that contributes in terms of funding, um, in terms of regulation, in terms of financing, in terms of provision of assistance, um, required help to people who have small businesses, large businesses, and medium businesses in Nigeria. I know this is from a government or a public point of view. I know a majority of the business owners in Nigeria will tell you, just like in every part of the world or different parts of the world, will tell you that most of their funding comes from private investors, people who are venture capitalists, people who are heads of hedge funds, people who are equity investors, all those kind of people. But those are for the private sector. Those are majorly attributed to the private sector. Now we're talking about people sectors in the public part of the economy that you need to take note of, or companies or institutions or parastatals in the public economy that you need to take note of. It's important that you also take note of them because they also affect what happens to projects or general businesses, because you might be a private investor, but you need to know how things are being done. You need to know if there are bodies you need to register with, if there are how to file the documents, what to do, what what body is in charge of what sector. If you're looking at agriculture, you need to know that the Bank of Agriculture um, is somewhere you can get funding from, or you have to seek some form of permission from them. So these are some of the bodies, regardless of what sector you are playing in, you have to take note of them. The Bank of Industry is one of them, and they majorly finance and provide assistance to small, medium, and large scale businesses, industries, companies who need funding, who need assistance, who need help, who need capital, who need something, some of the services they offer. And this is one of those companies that you need to take note of. So the Bank of Industry is very important, and Nigeria needs innovative ways of tackling the issues of unemployment, poverty. Um, Lots of things are going wrong. Some of our issues, we need to find a way of tackling it in an innovative way, and the Bank of Industry has a major role to play. Capital and funding regulations for the various parts of the industry have been the core focus of the Bank of Industry. This is a big deal. So there's different sectors of the economy like agriculture, manufacturing, construction, aviation, um, tech. All these sectors of the economy are funded or seek assistance from the Bank of Industry because that is the government's own way. That should be, or rather, that is the government's own way of funding or helping the lives of the citizens or making people's businesses grow better. And they need to find out innovative ways and change from the archaic ways of building things or doing things. So this is one industry we need to take note of, one institution rather we need to take note of. um, so the stock exchange, the Nigerian Stock Exchange, it's now called the Nigerian Exchange Group. Um, it refers to the Nigerian Stock Exchange, and this is literally the apex body in the stock exchange in the capital markets. So this is like it was changed from the Nigerian Stock Exchange to the Nigerian Exchange Group, NGX Group, and it is Africa's largest comprehensive market infrastructure. So it has three subsidiaries, which is the NGX Exchange, the NGX Regco, and the NGX Relco. Now, the NGX Exchange is in charge of the Nigerian Exchange, or rather, the Nigerian Stock Exchange, if you would like to call that. So what this means is the Nigerian the the NGX Exchange um, is in charge of securities listing, trading of securities, lots of things that happen in the stock exchange market. They're in charge of that. Trading, investments, the stock exchange market, bonds, treasury bills. They're in charge of that. Now, the RegCo, the NGX RegCo, is a regulatory body of the NGX or the Nigerian Stock Exchange. It is the regulatory body or the regulatory subsidiary of the Nigerian Stock Exchange, the RegCo. The RELCO is a real estate subsidiary of the Nigerian Stock Exchange. So the NGS Group offers a variety of services such as securities listing and trading, licensing, market data solutions, ancillary technologies, regulation, real estate, and the likes. So what it means is they're in charge of trading of securities, treasury bills, bonds. They're also in charge of licensing of traders, licensing of the industry, licensing of that sector, regulation of that sector, and market data solutions, ancillary technologies that can help the sector grow, the capital sector grow, and they are doing an amazing job so far. So next, we're looking at the Nigerian Export and Import Bank, which is the Nexim. So the Nexim Bank is your go-to authority in terms of um, export and import. So it is a credit export institution that was founded in 1991. Nexim's mission is to promote the growth and expansion of Nigeria's non-oil sectors to minimize the country's over reliance on oil exports. So what this means is they they have functions like increased funding, um, risk taking, market information and trading, export financial advisory roles. They play the roles of funding, advisory roles to people who are involved in the non-oil sectors, particularly because when the company, when this institution or company was founded or bank was founded, we were trying to transition from, or we as we are still, we were trying to transition from the being an oil dependent state to what we are right now and to what we aim to achieve. So the they solely, literally try to help people who are involved in the non-oil sector in a way that they can be financed, they have advice, they have information, they have the right data. So they solely help people who are in the non-oil sectors, people who are in those sectors that are not oil related, agriculture and the likes, so that the country doesn't depend solely on its oil exports. So this is one of the countries and companies that helps with investments, that helps with funding, that helps with resources, that helps with data, that helps with talents, that they help in a lot of ways. And they help with risk taking. Um, it's one of the major players that you look out for when coming to Nigeria or when you're trying to establish a business in Nigeria. This is the very important, a very important bank. The next thing. The next is the Federal Inland Revenue Service. Now it's the taxing body in Nigeria. So obviously, if you want to run a business, you need to know how you have to pay taxes, and you need to know how taxation is done. So the Federal Inland Revenue Service is in charge of anything tax in the country. Um, so in a nutshell, the public conducts businesses, and as law-abiding citizens and foreigners, it is only right that one pays taxes to the government. On the other hand, the government's responsibility is to use this revenue or resources to provide amenities, utilities, and improve the lives of everyday Nigerian, not minding their class or demographic. So what this means is we are expected, if you conduct business in the country, you're expected to pay tax. The only downside to this as a Nigerian is a lot of people pay tax and the government isn't using the taxpayers' fund or the taxpayers' money for the right thing. There's embezzlement, corruption, looting of funds, and this is why people are nonchalant or non-tax compliant in this country. There's a low rate of tax compliance in Nigeria, and this says a lot. But the Federal Inland Revenue Service is the apex body is in charge of assessing and collecting tax and revenues for the federal government of Nigeria. Um, the next body we're going to be looking at is the Nigeria Securities and Exchange Commission, which is regulated by the Federal Ministry of Finance. So it is one of the top, or rather the top regulating body in the Nigeria's capital market. So it has metamorphosed, or it has morphed into what it is today from the past, from being the Capital Issues Committee down to different committees and to what it is now as the Nigerian Securities and Exchange Commission. And they work hand in hand with the Central Bank of Nigeria, they work hand in hand with the financial regulators, they work hand in hand with the stock exchange, the Nigerian Exchange Group, which is the NGX, Nigerian Stock Exchange. So, but they are they are the regulating body. They work hand in hand with all these organizations to regulate the capital market in Nigeria. And you would want to take note of them when conducting business. So it is one of the numerous bodies. Now, in a nutshell, Nigeria and Africa has a great future, and it's important to know that this future is a young and growing future. So we need people who are also pro youth, or we need products that cater for not just only the old people, but majorly the youth and the young people in our population. So the economy is growing, the country is growing. There are opportunities in different sectors, agriculture, real estate, and we just wanted to give you an introductory into what it looks like, what is happening, who are these key stakeholders, what companies you should look out for, and subsequently we'll be rolling out more sessions to explain how dynamic, how profitable, how investment worthy to be to look into Nigeria and also Africa. So this has been an amazing session. It's been a long one, to be honest, and I'm glad you stuck with me all this while. And we'll see you very soon. Cheers.